Sometimes the reality of life makes it hard to accept what the future's holding for all of us. Higher force calling us, unexpected visits to the coroner. When tragedy, pain has befallen us, and as we getting older, you quickly realize that you have to be stronger than you ever been. Lifespan has to be longer. Too many people taking life for granted. Too much negativity.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your motherfucking man, Chef. Yo, this one's going to be off the wall. It's going to be crazy. There's a lot of shit going on. Listen, I'm a little nervous. I seen this dude. He's a bad motherfucker. And I'm not sure if my guy's even ready to talk to this guy. And my fault for hearing the gunshots behind me. I got a video game. Let me close this door. So first, I'm going to start with Crooked. Crooked, how you doing, brother?
Doing real good, man. Just ready to get this interview going and learn a little bit about Zack.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, boss, Mr. Drake Adams, what's good?
It's going good, man. Excited to get the words out about this upcomer here. I mean, he's been around for a little bit, but he's hot shit.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's not try to get this shit slow paced and everything else. Zack Monstar, how are you, brother?
I am fucking living, bro. How are you?
I'm chilling, baby. Yo, on some real shit. When he was like, yo, my man, we're going to interview him. I was like, yo, let me see some videos. I'm like, man, this is a hardcore motherfucker right here. So then I start finding out, and we're going to do things a little different. It's going to be like the Joker's Club into the madhouse. Like, start picking your brain because this madhouse thing is amazing. I know you're an artist now, so that's my attention to detail for you. But I'm going to let Crooked start, set it off because my questions are going to be different than yours. So we'll just go down the line. We'll go through some stuff. We'll have some fun with this, and we'll get to know this superstar right here.
Cool. So first question I want to ask, get everybody situated, get to know about you. What got you started in wrestling? Like, what sparked your interest to finally become a pro wrestler?
The ability to beat up people, bro. No, I remember from like a young age where like my mom actually is the one who took me to like my very first live event. And that's just what kicked it. I love the out of the world personas. Ultimate Warrior was like my like go-to dude. He was the one I was like, this dude is talking about rocket fuel and everything else. And like he's running to the ring and like this is what I want to do with life. So Kickstart, that started when I was like 3, and then right around like 15, 16. Man, I was like, I want to do this for real. This is what I want. And so like I built a ring in my backyard and me and the neighborhood kids used to beat the shit out of each other like once a week. And I was jumping out of trees and barns and setting things on fire, and there was like concrete blocks involved and everything else. And then somebody finally approached me and was like, hey, you want me to teach you how to do this so you don't actually kill yourself and everybody else? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And literally that was 11 years ago. That's why I laughed when he was like this young up and comer, and I'm like, man, I'm 11 years into this game.
Yo, Mr. Drake Adams, man, how you gonna say that, man? This guy's been killing it for years.
Hey, you've been killing it for years, but for a lot of people, this is their first introduction. And I mean, he's still a young dude. 11 years is 11 years, but he's still a young dude. He's still young in the business, you know? You got people who've been in it for 30 years, so.
Nah, he right. Like, I can't argue with that. It was weird to hear it from a different spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't been told I'm a young dude in fucking forever.
Oh, no, don't think I'm trying to disrespect you, man. I got all the respect in the world for you, my man.
Oh, no. None of that.
So what do you got from Mr. Drake Adams? Because I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna go last on my questions, and we'll cycle it to it'll go, you know, crooked you me. So I'll go last on this because I think it's your time to ask the man a question since he's an old guy. You know what I mean? According to you, you know what I mean?
I'm good at the game and shit.
All right, man, we kind of brought up a madhouse at the beginning, but what is madhouse? Where'd you come up with this whole idea of the insanity of madhouse?
Man, it's me, man. I don't know if you guys can see me because I still have my video on and stuff. But if you look right here above the eyebrow, it says madhouse. Like it's everything to me, man. I didn't really know like what I wanted to do in wrestling. I didn't understand like where I was at with it. You know what I mean? When you're trying to figure out like who you are, what your gimmick is, and everything else. And I was being pulled in so many different directions because my trainers were like, Zach, you're 6'5", you can't be, you know, jumping through the ropes, and you can't be leaving your feet like this, and you need to do choke slams and power bombs and body slams and all this like lame shit that I didn't want to do. So the more that I was being pulled in all these different directions, I finally just said, fuck it, I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do something that is for me, and I'm going to do something for everybody else out there who has ever felt like they had to be something that they weren't. You know what I mean? And like that's what Madhouse is, man. It's for like the miscreants and the deviants and the freaks and fucking people that are not socially acceptable in the world. You know what I mean? Like you want to tat your face, go tat your face. You want to go jump off that, go jump off that. But like as long as you're doing you, like that's all that ever has mattered. You know what I'm saying? So like Madhouse is literally just it's my home, it's my comfort zone, it's my bubble, it's me. It's what it is.
I feel you, man, on that. Looking at pictures of you and stuff, it looks way out there, but it's definitely mad relatable.
Like I don't even know what pictures you guys have seen. It really depends on who's been showing you them. But no, man, that's me, 110%. Like I went to a therapist a couple of years ago, and he actually broke it down to me in the sense of like my wrestling. So like, okay, in wrestling, it tells you and teaches you that it's just you turned up. It's a mask. You know what I mean? And my therapist actually, after several sessions, broke it down to me that like my wrestling character is me down to the core. Like what you see when I'm wrestling and what you're seeing when I'm painted up and I'm doing my thing out there is me on an everyday basis. And the mask is the everyday life shit. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause outside of that, like I'm a father, I work, you know what I mean? I got a lot of other stuff going on. Like I own my own promotion. So like there's a business professionalism to there. So like in the ring is like the one time where like I can take that mask off and just be my damn self. So that's kind of what Madhouse is to me. Like I keep it really close to the vest, and like at the end of the day, like Madhouse is what I am without the mask, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
All right, so that was fucking dope, and I know you have your own promotion, and I got like a two-parter because my first introduction to you was, I believe, when Sean got a cheesy victory because someone had hit you with a fucking chair or something like that, and he pinned you for like a hardcore title. That was you, right?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there because. Wait.
I'm sorry. It was all out of love. I'm sorry.
Wait. I'm not even. See, you're cutting me off. Listen, all I'm saying is I get it, and I'm like, oh man, like what a piece of shit my boy is. You know what I mean? Like what a scumbag to do some shit like this, to get a dirty pin, and he's talking shit. So that was my introduction to you. And then I see like YouTube videos and like images through Google. So I dig your look. Now my thing is like, I'm a graffiti artist. I used to bomb trains, and well, I shouldn't even say bomb trains nowadays. Like graffiti trains and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously you're an artist. I see your work. I love your work right now, actually. When did you start like really getting into drawing and everything else?
Man, I used to get really bored in middle school. So while they were teaching what they were teaching, I'd be sitting in the corner because I was one of them bad kids, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to listen, I didn't want to do anything. Like they put me in like the back of the room in my own like little thing, and I just remember putting in like pen and notepad, bro, and like I would draw anything that would come to my mind. And a lot of the time, like the metal bands like Slipknot, Ozzy, Disturbed, like you know what I mean, like the rock bands, like their albums were always so artistic. Like they were always in that dark art spectrum that I've always liked. You know what I mean? That horror idealism. So that's what I gravitated to a lot. And man, about 6th grade is where I was just like, fuck it, I want to draw. And leading into that, or leading out after that, like I became a licensed tattoo artist. So a lot of the work that you see on the body is, a lot of it's me, man. Like I didn't touch my face or anything because, you know what I mean, kind of hard. But like if you ever get the chance to like look at my left arm, like the entirety of it is me, along with a lot of the pieces on like my stomach, my chest, my legs. Like that's literally just boredom sitting in where I'm like, you know what, I need a new tattoo.
So hold up, that Decepticon tattoo on your hand, you did your own shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking gangster. That shit is raw.
All the way through.
Dude, that's sick. That's fucking badass. My fault, Crooked. I'm over here like asking about his tattoos and shit like that. What's your question for him? Because I'm just gonna keep talking some random shit.
No, you're good. No. So my next question, because a lot of people probably don't know this, is that you're actually a big person in a suicide prevention thing. What got you into that, and what made you like actually fully commit into, you know, reaching out and actually helping people?
Oh shit! All right, so we cutting deep on this one. All right. So younger, you know what I mean. We all deal with things a certain way, and my way, like I was a cutter. You know what I mean. It still is really hard for me to like talk about. So like, just, you gotta like work with me on this one. But I was a cutter, and that's what I did. And like a lot of it, like it's hard to see because it's covered up with a bunch of ink now. But even nowadays, like in person, like you can still see the scars come through the skin. And that's how I coped with things, man. And like it definitely wasn't the best way to do it, but like that's what I felt I needed to do. You know what I mean? I wanted to feel something other than what I was feeling at that point in time. And then my best friend, his name's JJ, he passed away after he shot himself. And it just seems like the older that I'm getting, like the more I'm seeing that like life is just way too short, man. And like if I can lend an ear, or if I can be there for somebody to like hold their hand and like let them know that, you know, that they're not alone, and it's okay to not be okay, then I feel like that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Because like I tried a bunch of different times with a bunch of different ways, and like I'm still here. And this past time around, my brother passed away, leaving his ex-wife and 2 kids, and it hit me so hard that like I was either torn between falling back into the hole that I was in, or trying to do something to better the situation. And that's when I started the You Are Not Alone thing. And once a year we do the suicide prevention, where all the proceeds go to the suicide prevention. What is it? It's the suicide prevention foundation. Yeah. Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Sorry, it took me a second to think about that. But that was the first time that we ever did that, and that happened back in, I want to say, June, August. August is when that happened. So that's what really kickstarted everything. You know what I mean? I wanted to help people, man.
So like, if you have any links to anything that you want us to plug, let us know. I'll throw any links you need us to throw in. You know, whenever you're gonna. I think you said it's every June, right?
No, that's when I got the idea, but I do it every. I do it every October, bro. And I did it last year, and we ended up making over $1,200 just with that show to be able to do it. And all the workers there were super cool, man. Like nobody wanted anything for it; they just wanted to be a part of it. And I took $500 of my own money and put it towards the actual prevention itself. So all together, man, like we raised over $1,700, and like I was super, super proud about that. But when everything starts to roll around again, because you don't know what the hell's going on with the world right now, But once everything starts to roll around, like I'll shoot Sean those links and he can shoot them to you guys and do all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it's a beautiful thing because like I don't want to go into it. My wife's in the other room, but she suffers depression and shit like that. So it's like all that crazy shit. Like it's close to home. You know what I mean? So if you could like put a better light to it, and people understand that there is help out there, and people have been through the same trials and tribulations that other people have gone through, they understand and they feel it more. Definitely, we'll plug the shit out of that. Like just anytime you need that information, we'll slide it. I'll put that shit everywhere. Like, we'll promote it like that because it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. I really do.
But yo, Drake, man, lighten this up, man. Change the vibe because fucking Crooked is a piece of shit. What a fuck. Yo, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick him in the nuts the next time I see him. Like, this motherfucker, like, see, this is why, and I'm not trying to go off tilt here. This is why I usually do an itinerary, and I'm like, nah, just let him do his thing and ask him whatever questions he wants. If I would have seen that shit, we would have did it differently, you fucking asshole. So, Drake Adams, what do you got for the big homie?
I mean, looking at this dude, he obviously looks like he's a big old Celine Dion fan. So, my man, you said you're a metalhead. What is your favorite metal band?
Favorite metal band? Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with Britney Spears. No, so favorite metal band, Slipknot, hands down. I've been to so many of their shows, and it's always like a different setup. And man, even through like their rough times, I still like their music. So, but Slipknot is the one that got me into music, so it works out well. So I always end up going back to Slipknot.
All right, I'm not. My fault. I must say, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not like I don't know a lot. Like I know motherfuckers laugh because when they talk about it, I'm like, well, I fuck with Linkin Park, and they're like, okay. But like I fuck with Rammstein though. Rammstein is my shit. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but Rammstein's official.
See, and like I can't get behind Rammstein. Guilty pleasure though, I love the Pop Goes Punk covers. Like I love those Pop Goes Punk anything. Like it's probably one of my favorite things to listen to.
You know what?
Hey, I found a Pop Goes Punk cover of Mr. Bombastic. I'm gonna have to send that shit your way. It's great, dude.
Oh, I think you got yourself muted.
Yo, Zach,
You got yourself muted, brother. Yo, Zach, you got yourself muted, brother.
I don't think. There you go. I think you might have it.
It keeps cutting back and forth. I don't know what's going on with it. I had you guys on a speaker so I could actually like hear you because my laptop speaker is a little it's mainly for like all my graphic design shit. So I never really actually listened to anything through this laptop.
Listen, just blame it on Crooked. We blame him for everything anyway.
That's perfectly fine. I hear you guys perfectly now though. So
trust me, when we're at the shows, he blames me for shit too. So don't worry, I'm used to it.
If a match goes over too long, if the crowd doesn't react right, if somebody misses their cue, it's all his fault every time.
All right, so bringing it back to wrestling, what's your favorite match you've ever had? Like, I'm more curious on, or not even your favorite. What's the biggest moment you think you've had so far that you felt like, holy shit, this was such a dope fucking moment?
Oh, dude. All right, so it was, man, I got a couple, but like my favorite. So I do this deal where I take a couple shots to the head. In any given situation. So the dude's like, beat me up. And I start to finally, like, I have that weird hypothetical, like Hulk Hogan comeback, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, he takes the punch and he starts shaking his head. So I was working with Sandman and he hit me in the top of the head with one hand with a kendo stick. And he swung it like I owed him child support. And all you saw was that entire bamboo kendo stick just like wrap to the back of my head and hit me in the back at the same point in time. And I go down and I start laughing. Like, that's my deal. It's not me like no selling shit. It's just, it's part of the character. And I was no selling the shit out of it. And I started laughing and shaking my head and everything. And I look back up at him, and at this point in time, like I'm on my knees, and I point at him, and the entire crowd is like cheering at this point in time. And I do this deal where I tell them that they hit like a bitch, and then I beat my chest, and I throw up my hands, and I tell them to fucking hit me. And to have the entire crowd at that point in time quote me as I'm going word for word to like this ECW legend and telling him that he hits like a bitch, like that was, it took me a second. Like after it happened, like I looked to my left and I was just like, these motherfuckers followed me. Like shit, like this is about to hurt. But to legit, man, to have 300-400 people screaming you hit like a bitch to like this ECW legend, I felt like that was a proud moment for me.
That's fucking sick. That's sick.
And we all know that Crooked's a huge fan of Sandman over here, so.
You know I fucking hate Sandman with a passion, motherfucker. But yeah, we'll continue on.
He's a piece of shit, but like in like favorite like top 5 moments, like he's definitely number like 2.
Crooked, come on, man. It's your turn, and don't hit him with no bullshit.
Damn, so I'm just gonna stick with the wrestling. God damn. So they got the favorite wrestling moment. What's your favorite like promo you've done with somebody, or favorite promo that you've shot at somebody?
You know what? You're a piece of shit because you know this involves you.
What a self-promoting piece of shit.
All right, so
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know it was fucking me, but sure.
So
Okay.
me and Sean were doing like this angle, and it's after he had like screwed me over of the hardcore title. So like earlier in the night, I tried to run him over with my car, jump out of the way, and beat the shit out of him on the ground. I threw him in the back of my car. I came out with him and tied him to the post for my match. After the match, I hit him again. During intermission, I brought him out with me, and I sold chops for $10. And that was another one. Yo, like Headbanger Thrasher was there, Wes Briscoe, who else was there? There was a couple different names there that night, and we had the longest line going to my table because I was charging people to beat the shit out of Sean. And that was
no joke.
Thinking
About that, holy shit, that was crazy. Yeah, that's great.
So at the end of the night, I had to cut a promo, and I was like, I'm gonna do it with Sean. And in the promo, I had locked Sean into like this truck trailer deal that had like these 2 big bay doors on it. And I started cutting my promo, and I open up the thing, and Sean's sitting there tied to this chair, where I take a shirt and I throw it over his face, and then I take a gallon of water and I start to waterboard Sean. And yeah, that's probably my favorite promo. Like I got to waterboard somebody, and I wasn't looking for any type of information. I think I was just doing it to do it.
I remember you're just like.
I'm just curious, and before you go and ask him, what did it feel like being waterboarded? Because I don't know anybody alive that's been waterboarded. So I'm more curious on what did it feel like on this man across from us waterboarding you? I'm just curious how you took this.
Honestly, I wasn't very thrilled at it at first. And Zach's like, no, you gotta trust me. You know, like I'm not gonna hurt you. Blah blah blah. You gotta trust me.
No. I'm not talking about that. I don't want to hear the fucking nice guy shit. What did you feel when you had the fucking thing thrown over your fucking face and you were being waterboarded?
To be honest, I was a little fucking nervous because I was afraid, like, if he kept going with the water, like, if I chugged the water or some shit and choked on it, what the fuck would actually happen? God forbid. And I'm like, well, if I'm gonna fucking die, I guess I'm gonna die by my big brother. Fuck it. I guess that's the way to go out. If that's the way it needs to be.
Now, all right. Before anyone does anything, did you pee a little bit? Did you get like a little nervous where like a little bit of piss rolled down your leg, like a little trickle at least?
No.
No, there's none. You handle like a little soldier then. I thought you might have got a little nervous when you started choking on it. You know, maybe just. Are you sure a little trickle didn't come down? Listen, this is what we do. We're having some.
Hey, chef.
What's up,
You could tell from all the water.
No,
that's
like,
true. That's
I was a
true.
little,
That's
I was a
true.
little nervous at first, but like I put my trust in his hands like you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to trust whoever you're with. So I trusted him. If he wanted to kill me, then fuck, he could have killed me right then and there.
So, well, waterboarding won't kill you. It's torture. You know what I mean? It's not meant to kill you. I mean, I guess eventually, like, yeah, it could. But like what we were doing, I wasn't gonna kill you. I would have hurt you. Yo, no bullshit. So like halfway through, like as I'm doing like this promo, I had poured, like I said, like I had a jug of water. So I had poured like half of it on him already. And I was like, and I look at the thing and I'm like, is that enough? And I'm like, nah, and I just keep going back.
And the crazy part
I
is,
really gotta get my point in there, you know?
so I mean, what were you trying to get him to say something, or you were just trying to teach him a fucking lesson?
So at the point in the promo, it was actually directed to two other people. So what was supposed to happen? So on ARW, it was supposed to be leading up to a big deal with me versus Sami Callihan, because that was the end goal. That was the whole point of me getting involved with the whole OVE thing. I was supposed to be shooting towards getting Sammy, and that's what the company wanted to do, is to do me versus Callahan, Human Horror Show versus Death Machine. Like it's money, and I almost had it in my own promotion, but he double booked himself and had to go to Mexico instead. So I was a little like, I've wanted Sammy for so many years that I feel like each time I start to get close, like he just evades it, you know? Sammy Callahan runs from me. That's what it is. And
You know what's gonna? I'm my bad to cut you off, but you know what our goal is? We're all gonna go on social media. We're gonna start calling them out.
like, bro, I did it like on my Twitter. It's actually pinned at the very top, and it just says Human Horror Show versus Callahan. And then man, that thing has been cycled around since 2015. Like, it's up there. So this is a 5-year battle, actually, that I've wanted Callahan. So it's gonna happen somewhere in down the line. I will get my hands on him eventually, and but yeah. Anyway, so the story was I was supposed to face Fulton and I want to say Leon Scott, which were known as the Death Machines in MLW. So my whole point behind the promo was to just show them how fucked up I am and how crazy I am. So I did it to Sean. So Sean was just a message. It had nothing to do with Sean as a person or a worker or individual. It had nothing to do with me and Sean. It was all about sending the message to the Death Machines. Because the next month, like I said, it was supposed to be Fulton and Leon Scott versus me and my dad, Sin Bodhi.
It's fucking official. Drake, what do you got, Drake? Because we got people being waterboarded. We're gonna start calling out Sami Callihan. This shit is getting wild right now. I'm telling you, I'm gonna live on it now. I'm just like, yo, I heard you shook. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so boss, what do you got? Because this is good shit that's happening right now. What do you got for him?
All right, man. Well, the first time I ever seen you wrestle was at a Real Pro show in Port St. Lucie. I helped set up the ring for you. And I believe you had CJ O'Doyle.
I remember that. My back remembers that, yeah.
I was gonna say you took some serious bumps in there, and CJ O'Doyle's, you know, he's a fairly big name, I would say, especially through the indie scene. Yes, so my question to you would be, if you had to pick somebody to wrestle besides Callahan, of course, who would you choose?
Can I go? Are we talking just indie promotion wise, or are we talking like
anybody?
Anybody? All right. So hold on, I got a list. Give me 1 second. All right. So I want Jimmy Havoc. I want Sami Callihan. I almost had Moxley at one point. And that was, man, like the news. I got the news, and then the news went right out the window, and I was just like, God damn it! Like I was here, man. So Havoc, Callahan, Moxley, I would love to do something eventually, if it ever came down to it, with somebody like Aleister Black or Bray Wyatt. But those two are so intertwined with like that WWE contract and being on that main stage that like the likelihood of that happening is probably slim to none. But like, you know what I mean? You got to have some hopes. I gotta say, man, like I want to work fresh people. Like I want to work new people. Like I think the one thing that sucks about being so close to just like the Florida indie scene, you know what I mean, is like you always see the same people on the shows, on the cards. It's month after month after month, show after show. Like there's a guarantee that every time I go to ARW, I'll see Sean Hawley. There's a guarantee that every time I go and run Real Pro, I'll see Jason Dugan, Sean Hawley, you know what I mean, Ray Zion. Like I always see these guys. So like I jump at the opportunity to work new people. My big thing that I'm into recently, and I can't even say recently, but since last June, ever since I had my first one, man, I love this death match. I love anything that has to do with a death match, like gusset plates, skewers, razor blades. Like I am all about it, and I think that's where my career is at this point in my life. Like that's where I want to be, and that's what I want to do. So like my end goal isn't like NXT or Evolve or AEW or anything like that. Like, man, I want to work for Game Changer. I want to work for H2O. Like I want to go up to Jersey and tear it up in these no ring death matches and show everybody that like I'm just as tough as the next person. Like put me in CZW and I will hold my own. You know, Sean's seen it. And you saw one show at Port St. Lucie with Real Pro, and you know what I mean? Like it's expanded since then, if that makes any more sense than what it possibly could. So like I said, it's not just one person, it's the world. I want to wrestle everybody.
Well, going kind of off of that, I've seen you at ARW as well, and it was the last time I saw you, I think it was a triple threat with Vertigo and I forget who else, but it was a hardcore match. And I guess kind of a follow-up question on that would be, what is your obsession with light tubes?
Dude, I love them. That's the best way that I can explain that. Like I love them. There's so many different things that you can do with them. From an aspect, like, so the key to hardcore wrestling isn't just to hit people with weapons. It's to create art with the weapon. And that's anybody can go out there and hit somebody with a chair. You know what I mean? But when you can go out there and you can make a table out of light tubes and you just do different things that people haven't seen before, I think that's what sets you apart from just being your standardized, like, I'm going to take this trash can and hit you with it, to really kind of turning it into like your own thing. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But I love light tubes. They're easy to get your hand on. 2, I love the pop that they make. And 3, like I said, I just like to be creative with what I do with them. I don't want to just hit you with it. I want to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but like I want to do something. I recently had the idea of putting a dude laying across the top turnbuckle and then putting light tubes into like my actual like back, where my shirt is and shit, and hitting a senton onto him while he's on the top turnbuckle. So like, I don't know. I like light tubes, and not everybody wants to do them because they're scared of them. So it's kind of it's a different factor for me. You know what I mean?
How the fuck do you follow up on some shit like that? All right. So, see, I had this question. I should have asked this before because, you know what, Drake Adams, you're a bitch because it's like my question just sucks now. But, like, with your Madhouse product, you ever thought about making a faction? Because, like, with somebody like me, I'm a street guy. So I like that whole kind of like gang mentality, that street mentality, because it's something that I understand and I appreciate. So, like, you ever thought about grabbing up a few guys or females and like doing like a Madhouse faction?
Man, it's been in the talks for a while now. But it's never really stuck. You know what I mean? Mainly because like I have a vision for like what it needs to be, and when people start coming in, they start trying to change like the idealism of what the vision is. And normally, like, I'm not hard to work with. Like, if it's something to do with like my main brand, like the thing that like I represent myself with, like I'm meticulous and a stickler about it. Like I'm very like hands-on with what's changing and what needs to change, because with that, it's not just a stable or a faction. Like, this is my brand that I've labeled and have tattooed across my face. You know what I mean? It's 50% of the time when like I do get noticed and shit, it's not so much, oh, that's Zack Monstar. Like, oh no, that's Madhouse. Like, Madhouse has become its own entity. So like I said, the thought of something where I've created a stable is definitely there, but I feel like I just need the right people and counterparts to be able to do it with. As of right now, the only person that actually claims the brand besides me is my little brother Raven. And he is up in North Carolina, and he wrestles for H2O, and he does a lot of the death matches up in Jersey and stuff like that. And he came down here, and me and him had my first death match together, and I didn't even know what the hell I signed on for until he showed up with panes of glass, and I was like, oh shit. And he's like, you got to go through at least 2 of these, and I was like, all right, sure, why not? But he also introduced me to like gusset plates. Do you guys know what gusset plates are?
Nah.
Sadly, I do, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, y'all
So
are gonna be ready for this.
If you can see still, these are gusset plates. Okay.
Oh, that's crazy.
So
Wow.
They use those to hammer beams together in your roofing.
yes, they do. And
Shit.
what we do to them in death matches is we take it, and it's about the size of my palm, and we pop that bitch right about there. And I just, like, if I pop it in, it'll be there. And I've taken them to the arm, I've taken them to the back, and at one point, taken it straight to the head.
Oh.
So those are gusset plates. And outside of light tubes, those and skewers are like my 3 favorite like go-to objects, by the way. But but Raven actually claims Madhouse. So me and him kind of got like this whole like trying to cover the board type branding situation. I got a boy out in California who also wants to rep it too. So like I think what I'm gonna do is like I'm just gonna pick like certain parts of the United States and Canada and Germany and like the UK and all that, and I'm just gonna pick somebody to rep the shit out of my brand. And I think that's how I'm gonna run that.
That's fucking official. I mean, it's your baby, so I don't think anybody should ever even try to tell you, what it should be, because you built the shit from the fucking ground up. You know what I'm saying? You put all the legwork in, so people should understand that and respect your grinds.
Oh, exactly, man. And you know what I mean? It's funny too, because like when I first started it, I remember my trainers looking at me and go, you know what? That's stupid. That's something that will never take off. Nobody will ever remember you for that. And like nowadays, I just look at them and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, shut the fuck up.
That's fucking awesome. Crooked, what you got, baby? Now you quiet?
I don't know,
You ain't got shit because he ain't got shit to say because he got fucking waterboarded? Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So, with that being said, I know you've had a couple like matches in Real Pro with your Madhouse match. Out of the, I believe it's 3, right? You've had 3 of them so far?
I've had a few. Are you talking death matches or just Madhouse massacres?
Madhouse Massacres, yeah. We'll go with that one, because I know you had one with Bud Heavy and stuff like that, which was a great fucking match.
Yeah.
Out of all your like extreme hardcore matches, not just normal hardcore matches, which one of them is your most fucking favorite?
Man, fuck you, Sean. So
Gotta ask all the questions.
it's hard, man. Like it's hard to pick because like I love the one that I had with Raven because it was my first like taste into it, and like you know me as well as you know pretty much anybody else does that I share with that that's like in my circle, that like I don't just like tiptoe in, like I dive head first, and if like there's water in the pool, great, but if there's not, like whatever. So that first one that I ever had, like that, bro, that like opened up the doors for me. I remember it like I walked out of that match and like I had glass in my back, I had gusset plates and blood on my arms, and my head was busted open. And I remember walking out of that match and like the entire canvas was covered in Legos, panes of glass, light tubes. There were gusset plates. I think at one point lemon juice, because I did that and I'm a fucked up individual for that. There were skewers. Like the ring looked like it went through war, man. And like I remember walking out and like I'm bleeding and like the cold air hit me. So like I was starting to shake. And Leo walked up to me and he asked me, you know, hey, are you good? And I just remember like looking at him and telling him like I have never felt more alive in my entire life. And like I think that feeling right there is why working with Raven is my favorite.
All right, Mr. Drake Adams, go ahead and get your question out if you got one.
All right, my man. So we talked about who you want to have a match with, and since this is a heel-based podcast here, what is your least favorite match that you've had?
Me versus Johnny Knockout.
Any details on that one?
Wait.
I knew it was coming, man. No, okay, so it was right after Johnny did the Knockout did the segment on Raw where he went out there and they were like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "I'm Johnny Knockout." And they're like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I like big sweaty men." Like that whole gimmick where that was like a 15 minutes of fame in the pan type deal. So my booker gets a hold of Knockout and he says, "Hey man, like you're a Florida talent, you want to come down here and wrestle, you know, Zack?" And Johnny was like, "Absolutely, man, that sounds fun." And Johnny had never seen me work. He doesn't know anything about me, and he just is like, "Oh, you're a big dude." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." And we started talking about the match and everything, and he's like, "Well, I'm a face." And he was like, "You're obviously a heel." And at this point, like, I'm completely painted up, and I'm like, "Nah, man, I'm a face." And he just like stopped, and he's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a face. Like, if you don't believe it, just wait till I walk out the curtain." And because I was established there, and that's what I do out there. So right after that, like he was just dismissive towards everything. And I remember me and him going out there and like him not wanting to do anything. Like, and I'm like I said, like I'm 6'5", I'm 245 pounds at this point in time when I work him. And he doesn't want to bump, he doesn't want to do anything, and like I tower over this little 5'6" shithead. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that like he doesn't want to put the work in just because he doesn't want to bump, like I feel like that was like the most difficult match that I've ever had, and like my least favorite on my board. And that was years ago. So even to today, I still stand by fuck that shit.
Man. See, this is what they're doing. They're getting some fucked up questions, and I got to follow this shit. So, if you had to pick one female to be your valet, who would it be? Listen, I love bitches, females. So, my bad, but I got to ask that question. If you had one female, you know, just that eye candy, who would it be to walk you out?
Oh shit.
Yeah, make sure the wife ain't around before you answer this one.
Yeah, I gotta make sure.
Word out, or just blame it on Crooked.
So, and we're talking anybody, right? Anybody at all?
Anybody.
Yo, I hands down, I pick Christy Mack. Like, hands down. Tattooed. I've seen her do like this gothic like photo shoot deal, and like I feel like we could work.
That works for me. That's a dope answer. Crooked, what are you getting quiet for? You're the guy. Why you always do
Sean,
this?
It's your turn.
Jeez, y'all always pointing it on me. Shit.
It's
So-
your next turn, dude.
Motherfucker.
All right, so I was talking to the group chat to the boys about what I was gonna ask you, but I'm not gonna try and put myself over. So, what one match have you not had that you want to have with somebody?
Piranha
And if you
Death
say
Match?
Sean, you will mark.
You're talking like match wise or person wise? I think we've already covered person wise. You're talking match type.
He basically what he was trying to do is he was trying to call you out. He was gonna try to call you out, near you out. That's what he was trying to do. Listen, grow some balls. If you Crooked, you know how this works. If you're gonna say something, we're gonna air this shit out. If talk shit to him, he's right there.
Hey, I'm not trying to put myself over on anybody or try and throw myself. This is about Zack Monstar, all right?
Listen, you
Well,
just
good.
said
In that case, I choose RJ.
Yo, RJ's been talking mad shit on Facebook, trying to get you in that death match.
RJ don't want that life.
To be honest, I do. I do want to have you in at least one hardcore one-on-one. I know we've had our triple threat match, but I feel you already know we've talked about it multiple times. I want to get you a one-on-one and a hardcore. Fuck it. I trust you even to do a fucking death match, even though I shouldn't, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust me to do that. It's a different animal, bro. But if you're talking people, like I said, like I want to work. I want to work individuals that I haven't worked in a singles setting before. So like you are in there, yes. You know what I mean? So is RJ, like so is Sin. Like I want to work people that I haven't worked like fully one-on-one yet. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at. But if the question, what I originally thought was, what type of match do you want that you haven't had? Piranha Death Match. That's on my list. I need to figure out how to do that. But like that's
I have no idea what a Piranha Death Match is. I've never even heard of it. So can you please break that down, please?
Okay, so a Piranha Death Match is you put 10 to 15 piranhas in a fish tank, a sturdy fish tank, obviously. And the entire point of the match is to get your opponent into that fish tank and keep them in there for 10 seconds. And if you can do that, you win.
So you're trying to kill a motherfucker. It's pretty much what he's trying to tell you guys.
Piranha's not going to kill you. It's just going to hurt.
Although,
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe. So it's really big in Japan. I've seen it done in Japan. And it's super interesting. I've also seen it done on, I don't know if you guys remember it. Do you guys remember MTV had a wrestling promotion at one point, and it was called Wrestling Society X? If you haven't, go check that out.
Oh,
it's,
for sure.
It's fucking
For
ridiculous.
No,
It had like Teddy Hart in Teddy Hart. It had M-Dog 20, which is Matt Cross now. It had Jack Evans, like a lot of the dudes that you saw in like Lucha Underground and AEW and all of that. They were the ones that were doing Wrestling Society X, like Eric Cannon. Vic Grimes was a big ECW dude. He was doing shit like that. So that's where they picked up a lot of their wrestlers, their workers at that point in time. And Vampiro was on there, X-Pac was on there. Like it was fucking crazy. So their final season, for season 1, they did a time bomb exploding cage death match, and it was Teddy Hart and M-Dog 20 versus 2 Japanese dudes, and it was insane, dude. It was great. And then right before that, they did a Piranha death match where they had the piranhas in the tank, and you had to literally put your opponent in there for 3 seconds and then you win the match. So those are two things that like I definitely want to do, but I don't even know how to do an exploding cage or a time bomb. So like I'm not even gonna fuck with that because I feel like that's bad. But like I can definitely get my hands on some piranhas. I've already looked into it.
All right. See, it's crazy that you say that because like I got contacts for stuff that I'm not gonna, indict myself with or nothing like that. But I definitely can't get no fucking piranhas. You know what I mean? Like, but so my guys, I know they asked a million questions.
I can get my piranhas from the same guy that I get my piranhas from the same guy that I got my spider from.
Bomb. There you go. So your guy's got, he's got the connect out there. So we played a little bit in this madhouse. Listen, I had a lot of fun. I hope this ain't the only one because I think you're fucking awesome, to be honest with you. And this shit is what's up. But please, I'm not even gonna let these two motherfuckers plug themselves. This shit is about you. So let these people know your Instagram, your Twitters, your .coms. Just plug everything you got, brother.
All right, so you can find me on Facebook at Human Horror Show, Zack Monstar. You can find me on Twitter at Zack Monstar, or you can find me on Instagram at Real Monstar with 2 R's. You can also find my wrestling school, which is Real Pro University, on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can find my personal company of Real Pro Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at realprowrestling.com, or you know what I mean.
Boom. On that, gentlemen, please say your goodbyes, your adieus. Thank this man because he fucking killed it. And you two knuckleheads were fucking, well, one of you was a complete dick, but
It must have been Drake Adams because it sure wasn't me.
on that, we appreciate your time, brother. Thank you for everything.
Of course, man. Thank you for this.